But first, the stock market had a wild ride again today, and not a nice one. The housing market is hurting, and credit worries are growing. 2 weeks ago, CNBC's Mad Money host Jim Cramer had this to say about the economy. He's a prophet. Listen.
Alan Greenspan told everyone to take a teaser rate and then raise the rate 17 times. And Bernanke is being an academic. It is no time to be an academic. It is time to get on the Bear Stearns call. Listen, open the darn Fed window. He has no idea how bad it is out there. He has no idea. He has no idea.
Cramer.
I have talked to the heads of almost every single one of these firms in the last 72 hours, and he has no idea what it's like out there. None!
That's Jim Cramer talking to Aaron Burnett. Jim, you were right. You were crazed. What did you see coming that has come to pass?
First of all, you must know that I've traded for 25 years. I don't lose it because I'm an emotional guy. The only time I ever lose it is when the Eagles fail to come back after a defeat. Now, here's the deal. This Federal Reserve has been an academic exercise in torture for the American homeowner. Hey, you know what? They want to punish people who are rich in New York City and Wall Street. That's fine. 14 million people bought homes. I estimate that half of those people are squatting in their homes or will be. It's Tom Joad, it's Grapes of Wrath, and these guys are running an academic exercise in Washington?
So the credit crunch today is a policy of the Fed. Is that what you're saying?
100%. And there's a guy there by the name of Bill Poole. He and a guy by the name of Jim Lockhart. That's the guy who controls Fannie Mae. These guys are trying to see who's Hoover and who's Mellon.
Well, let me ask you this. Why are they so afraid of inflation? I heard the latest WPI annualized rate was about 2 points. What are they so afraid of? Where's this big inflationary reality that causes them to squeeze so hard?
Well, there's two forces of inflation. One is oil, and the other is the way we're handling the agricultural situations because of ethanol. But you know what? Hoover thought for certain that they were faced with an inflationary spiral, so he tightened. That is exactly what it's interesting, isn't it, that the academic wants to relive Hoover? Hey, look, maybe I was FDR when I was saying they know nothing, they know nothing.
Well, let me ask you about policy. Where's the president? He's sitting down in Crawford, Texas on his ranch, and I've said before this, we ought to get a president without a ranch so he can't go away somewhere. But he's away down there, and I have to ask this question. What are the people, the smart guys, if there are any around him right now, what are they saying to him when he says, damn it, what happened again in the market today? It went 300 down and came back again. This yo-yo-nomics is scaring the heck out of people.
He's surrounded by people. Look, I expected more from Hank Paulson at Goldman Sachs.
Well, who's telling him what?
Okay, he has got a couple of people who are telling him that the economy is great. That's the mantra. Now, there are parts of the economy that are terrific. The Treasury Secretary's right. Our export business is terrific. If you own a home, or if you bought one of the 14 million people who bought one in the last 4 years, you're not feeling that greatness. If you work in Detroit, you're not feeling that greatness. But he also has people within the Federal Reserve and a guy by the name of Jim Lockhart, this guy who regulates Fannie, who are saying, listen, these guys are Marie Antoinette. It's like, let them go to Dunkin' Donuts. It's not even cake anymore.
Well, look at it. He said, quote, as President Bush has said, this is a White House spokesman, the U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and so we can expect to see continued economic growth. It does sound like a chicken in every pot. Are they going to just keep saying that?
You're trying to spook me because you know that was a Hoover quote in 30, right?
Well, yeah, I know some history. Go ahead.
How about a bonus army for these guys? Maybe we need to see a bonus army.
Well, we don't have Smoot-Hawley, and we don't have Herbert Hoover, and we don't have Hoovervilles. We have a president, and we have a Fed chairman, and we have a stock market, which is driving everybody crazy. What can be done by smart people, if anything?
I think you have to sit tight at this point. We've come down a great bit. Maybe when we rally, and we should rally tomorrow, you lighten up on some of the banks and the brokers that are really the target of the Federal Reserve's practice. Remember, they're saying, listen, so what? 14 million people lose their homes. Big deal. We got to wipe out Kohlberg Kravis. We got to slam it to Goldman. All these risky hedge fund guys, we got to take them down. Hey, maybe it's just too bad that we've got a nation of squatters, so we don't have a resettlement administration.
Okay,
Where's
translate.
Steinbeck? Now,
Kramer,
I have to tell you,
translate.
Chuck
what
Schumer,
does squatter mean in your lexicon? What do you mean by nation squatter?
Squatter's a guy who's sitting in his house, and he knows that there's no sheriff anymore. He's just not paying his mortgage. And there's like millions of them out there. Now, don't take my word for it, but Countrywide Financial, 21% of the mortgage market, is telling me that thousands of people are losing their homes every single week. They would love to have a sit down with the Fed. By the way, Chuck Schumer, the only man with any sort of strength in Washington, submitted a bill today saying maybe Fannie should help out.
Okay,
remember why Fannie was created? Remember why they created Fannie?
Okay.
Was it to make big earnings per share?
Okay, Fannie Mae, let me ask you this. Well, they all made money over there, didn't they? Let me ask you this about fiscal policy. When I was going to grad school in economics, I thought fiscal policy mattered. I thought it mattered if you ran huge deficits. Now, we have a national debt now of $9 trillion. It started at 5.7 when Bush took office. So it's not tripled, but it's not doubled, but it's almost doubled. Right. Does all that borrowing from abroad, all that selling of Treasury paper to China and offshore, does it ever have an effect on our economy or not?
You know, I hate to look. I'm
curious.
No,
I'm open-minded.
It doesn't. It just doesn't. Our interest rates are low, and things are pretty terrific in terms of the money coming from China. Look, China doesn't play fair. But no, the big debt has not mattered. It has not been an issue. The issue is mortgage debt, and whether we think that the people who bought homes went to the wrong table in Vegas, or maybe they were just trying to fulfill the American dream that everyone told us was a pretty good thing.
Have you gone to cash in all your assets or not?
I'm only allowed to own cash. I work for GE,
okay, well,
and they want me on cash.
My fella has just urged me to go to about 20% in cash. Is that a smart move?
In the rally tomorrow, I would never, ever look at I would never fight that. We are in a tough time. If Poole and Lockhart and Bernanke were to take a permanent, not an intellectual vacation, because they're clearly on that path, but a permanent vacation, you would feel bad taking off that money.
Do you miss Alan Greenspan?
Do I miss him? No, he created the He's the guy who told us to take the teaser rate, for heaven's sake, and then raised his rate 17 times. I only miss Volcker. He's the only guy I miss.
Cramer.
Bring him back.
Cramer, you make the bad times seem fun. Anyway, thank you, sir. Jim Cramer,
no problem, Chris.
Author, Philadelphian, great man, Mad Money host, airs weeknights at 6 and 11 Eastern on CNBC. And I'm glad you're not opposite me.